All right, Astro family, we are going to do a little planning for the month of May since it's such a beautiful month for us to capitalize on. Here's what we're going to do first. If you have your birth chart, go ahead and grab it. I'm going to give you the degree points that the planets are going to be during this month. And so you can mark this on your chart. This is what I do every single month. I print out 12 copies of my birth chart, and every month I map it out so I know kind of what's going on. So, first and foremost, this is the sun season of Taurus. And so the sun is going to be starting out 1st of May at 11 degrees. You see it right here on the chart, 11 degrees of Taurus, and it's going to move till 9 degrees of Gemini. So check your birth chart. Do you have any planets between 11 degrees of Taurus and 9 degrees of Gemini? If you do, the sun is going to cross it this month, highlighting that aspect, that part of you. Then we've got Mercury this month. So you see Mercury is right here in the zodiac energy of Aries as we start out the month at 16 degrees of Aries. And Mercury is going to haul butt this month. He's going to move through Aries. He's going to enter into Taurus, and then he's going to end up in Gemini. And he's going to make it to 11 degrees of Gemini, just about where the sun is. So again, if you have any planets from 16, 15, 16 degrees of Aries, any planets at all in Taurus, and the first 11 degrees of Gemini, you're going to have Mercury crossing that aspect of your birth chart this month. And then we have Venus. So Venus this month is going to be moving from 0 degrees of Aries. You see her right here in Aries. She is going to move through Aries and not make it all the way through the sign, but she's going to go from 0 to 24 degrees of Aries. So if you have any planets in Aries, for me, I have my North Node in Aries at 21 degrees. So I'm going to go and look to see the exact degree or day that Venus will hit 21 degrees since I have my North Node there. And so just check your birth chart. Do you have any planets between 0 and 24 degrees of Aries? If so, Venus is going to interact with that planet. Now, let's keep moving on. We've got Mars this month. Mars is in the zodiac energy of Leo over here all by himself. He is going to be moving from about 5 degrees of Leo, where he is on the 1st of May, and he's going to make it to about 20 degrees of Leo. So same thing, any planets that you have in the Leo area of the sky will be activated by Mars if it's between 15 and 20 degrees. Now, when Mars this weekend on the 4th makes it to 9 degrees of Leo, he is coming out of his post-shadow phase. Because remember, he got here to about 6 degrees of Leo on December 4th, and then he retrograded back into Cancer. Now he's out of his retrograde and he's moving forward. So after the 4th of this month, he is on a forward momentum, clearing a new area of our chart, getting into new territory where we can take new actions. So this is really exciting, and we'll talk more about that in a second. Then we have Jupiter. So Jupiter is our planet of blessing, expansion, growth, abundance, prosperity, all the things that we love Jupiter for. We see him down here in Gemini by himself. But you can see here as we near the end of the month, the sun is going to join him. Mercury is going to join him. And then we're going to have a new moon here to wrap up the month in the Gemini area of your chart, which is going to be super exciting. And Jupiter is nearing the tail end of his time in Gemini. Next month, he's moving into Cancer, a new area of our chart that he's going to bless, an area of our chart he has not been in 12 years. And so Jupiter this month is going to go from 21 degrees of Gemini to 27 degrees of Gemini. So check your birth chart, anything in those points over these 6 degrees, Jupiter will activate it this month. Now, big deal this month. We have Saturn making massive moves. Saturn over here in Pisces, right? He's been conjunct the North Node. See him right here as we start out the month of May, Saturn and the North Node together. And Saturn is breaking away from this energy because he's going from 27 degrees of Pisces and he's going to enter into Aries. He's going to get to 0 degrees of Aries on the exact same point in the sky where Venus is right now. So massive important energy for all of us to understand where Venus is beginning the month. We are going to have Saturn come in and anchor down on what we are setting intentions on around our finances, our relationships, the things that we are resetting and starting over, because this is Aries. We focus on what we want, what we need, what we desire after the Venus retrograde. And then Saturn Saturn is going to come in and help us anchor down tangible steps to get responsible, to get serious, and do the damn thing that we know we need to do. Saturn's going to enter in on May 24th, a massive day. He has not been here in 30 years. So for most of us, this is the first time in our adult life that we're going to have Saturn activating the Aries area of our chart. And that'll be a 3-year lesson. Lots more to talk about with that. Now let's get into Uranus. So we have Uranus, the little rebel, the little revolutionary. We have him over here in the zodiac energy of Taurus, obviously very active this month. You can see him here next to the star of Algol. This is the demon star. This is where things get destroyed. This is the exact same placement last year when we had the attempted assassination of Donald Trump, but Mars was with these placements. So this month, we're actually going to have the sun, Uranus, and Algol all come together, a very volatile energy. We're going to get more into the exact date that's going to happen, but don't like this energy at all. And also the full moon is going to be activating some of this energy as well. We are going to have Mars squaring this energy at the beginning of June. So just know that this is kind of a hot contention point, and you can see lots of planets are going to interact with this. Now, Uranus is only moving from 26 degrees to 28 degrees. So beginning of the month through middle of the month with the star Algol, and then the sun is going to join, and then they're both going to be moving over towards 28 degrees. If you have any planets in that area of the sky, or at 26, 27 degrees of Aquarius, Scorpio, or Leo, it's going to be interacting with this Algol Uranus Sun conjunction, triple conjunction. We don't like those triples, right? Because it means something fated and destined is going to happen. That's the only thing this month that I'm a little like, oh, I'm not sure how I feel about this. Now we have Neptune this month. We see Neptune at 1 degrees of Aries. So he's just beginning his journey here. Saturn is going to inch closer to him. We've got Venus right at the beginning of the month conjuncting Neptune. That's happening today into tomorrow. Lovely, lovely energy for artistry, romance, creative energy, being delusional, like just believing and having faith and manifesting. Such a powerful way to start out this month. Neptune will stay here at 1 degrees of Aries for the entire month. And then we have Pluto. Pluto is going retrograde this month. So Pluto over here in Aquarius, he is at 3 degrees. He is going to retrograde starting on the 4th. Now, usually the day that he retrogrades ends up being a significant energy shifting day as he goes from forward to backwards momentum. However, he is only going to retrograde back to 3 degrees this month. So he's kind of parking here. We can see he's still kind of opposite Mars at the beginning of the month. So definitely some energy that we could feel, this tension, but it is releasing as Mars is moving his butt along in this direction. We are going to have some squares to Pluto as we have Mercury moving over this area of the sky that will activate this. We'll talk more about that in a second when we get to the dates. And that is the main thing. The only other thing that we can kind of highlight and talk about really quickly is the fact that we have the North and the South node. Even though it's not eclipse season, they are still important to be aware of and to pay attention to. We've got the North node in Pisces still. So this is the eyes on the prize energy. At the end of the day, we are supposed to be doing things in a Pisces way, being empathetic, being passionate, following our intuition, trust and belief, and having faith, and being more in flow and tapping into our emotions, and removing and cutting away some of this Virgo tendencies, need for perfectionism, need to overanalyze, need to critique everything. Like, let's let go of that anal tendencies and move a little bit more towards flow while we deal with all the other astro weather. Now, one thing to pay attention to, we've got Uranus at 26 degrees, and we have the South node at 26 degrees and the North node at 26 degrees. This does create a trine energy and a sextile energy between these planets, or these points in space, the eclipses, and Uranus. And so it kind of creates this wonky little triangle here going on in the sky. This is going to be potent for the first part of the month, really the entire month, as these planets don't move very quickly at all. But this is Uranus saying choose change. It's time to move forward. It's time to innovate. It's time to get our butt going, right? On the fixed star algal. Sometimes we got to blow things up in order to have a fresh start. The sun is going to heat this up. Mercury is going to come in. So our mind and our conversations and communication and connection, so we can have more flow and more trust and be in more ease. So we can be more connected to our intuition. So we can follow our North Star and get rid of all the things, mental chatter, mental clutter, critique, and perfectionism that's holding us back from this new life that we're trying to begin. All the other planets are trying to help us or teach us lessons on how we get going. Okay, so we're going to kind of leave it at that. Now I want to go into the calendar. So now that you have this kind of mapped out on your birth chart, see what's happening to you personally based on your chart. If you want to do a mini session, you're like, hey, there's a lot of things activating in my chart this month, or maybe I have important decisions to make this month, or maybe I need some strategy around all of this. We can do a mini session anytime. Just know that's always available for you. Okay, now let's go into the calendar. So get out your calendar. What do you have going on this month? I'm going to switch the screen over here as we do what I do every single month. And I'm going to place the transits onto the points in the sky. So give me 1 second as we pull this up, and you're going to be able to map out the month ahead, exactly how you need to do this. So I already have a couple things posted so you can see what we do here. If this is your first time watching this, what I'm essentially doing now is putting all the transits for the month on the calendar, and then I highlight it in the color that I feel energetically describes that energy. And then from there, I'm able to put things on my calendar and rearrange and strategize along with the astro weather. So you can see here today, we have officially the Uranus sextile the North Node, which I just showed you in that triangle in the previous part of this video. And that is from 26 degrees of Taurus to 26 degrees of Pisces. Now, blue is default color. If I feel like the energy is positive and impactful, like for example, I feel like this is a really good, positive, lucky energy that you want to work with, that you want to set intentions, that you want to innovate, that you want to start new beginnings with, especially at the first of the month, I make it green. Green is like a lucky opportunity, the pocket of opportunity to use. Now, tomorrow we are going to have the Venus conjunct Neptune in Aries at 1 degrees of Aries. And you can put this on your calendar however you want. You can put in the degrees, you can put in the time. I'll be posting all of that as we go along each month, diving in deeper. But I think this is such a beautiful energy. Pink is like favorite, lucky, lovely, feels good, dreamy, romantic kind of energy. So I love that this is happening. This is going to be such a great day for you to go on a date, to work on a creative project, to be in flow, to do some self-care, as Aries is about the self, to go to the gym, to go shopping, change your aesthetic, take photos, work on your presence, your social media, do your makeup, get glammed up. Like this is people putting you on a pedestal kind of energy. Absolutely love it. Now, when we get to Saturday, we are going to have Mars leaving his post shadow. This is going to be at 6 degrees of Leo. And now officially Mars is on the move. He is going forward. He is out of that retrograde energy. Anything that deals with retrogrades, I make orange just as a note, like, hey, this is retrograde kind of activity. And now that Leo area of our chart gets really that momentum. It's time to make decisions. It's time to pick up full steam. Now, on the 4th, we've got Pluto entering his retrograde. He is going to retrograde all the way until October. He's going to be at 3 degrees of Aquarius. And again, this is a retrograde energy, so I'm going to make it orange. Now, don't forget, when it comes to your retrogrades, you have the Astrology Alchemy Journal, our 2025 edition. Make sure you go in and you fill out those journal prompts, okay? That when the retrograde begins, there is now in the new edition on the retrograde page, for example, for Pluto, you're going to be able to go to page, let me tell you right now what page that's on. If you grab your alchemy journal, and you're going to see at the top of the page, it's on page 40, the retrograde midpoint. So you can put a little note in your calendar for July 26th. That is the halfway point of the Pluto retrograde, where you're going to go back and fill out those same journal prompts that you fill out here today on May 4th, and see how much you have changed, as retrogrades are lesson learning periods. You're going to go back, you're going to reflect and check in at that midway point on July 26th. And then when the retrograde ends, which it will end on October 13th, you come back and fill out those same journal prompts a third and final time. And you will see the way that you answer on May 4th is going to be different as Pluto has taught you some lessons around that energy. So that is what is going on Sunday. Now we get to May 5th. On May 5th, this is where we're going to have Mercury sextile Jupiter. And this is at 22 degrees. So this is going to be a 2-2-2-2 sextile. Sextiles are harmonious aspects. Absolutely love this energy. It is a full force green energy, pocket of opportunity, asking for favors, people granting wishes, optimistic communication, time for great news, time for publishing. We're going to talk so much more on how to tap into this energy as we get closer to the date, but just know that is a beautiful, beautiful energy for us. Now, on the 6th, we are going to have 2 astro weather events. Absolutely love this. The first one is going to be Venus sextile Pluto. This is going to happen at that 3 degrees of Aries to 3 degrees of Aquarius. Now, I find this energy to be beautiful because Venus is around our relationships, our money, our finances. Pluto is retrograde, so he's asking us to go inward and find our inner strength, our inner power, our inner ability to face our fears around our finances or in relationships and conversations that we know we need to have to find that inner strength and to step into our power more than ever around the things that we love and we value and we appreciate. And again, we will talk so much more on how to capitalize on that energy. And then later that same exact day, Mercury is going to conjunct Chiron. And this is going to happen at 24 degrees of Aries. Now, this is an energy that we want to be a little mindful of as Mercury is our mind and communication and conversations. And so this can kind of bring up some trigger points, bring up some things that might be a little painful, little ouchies as we're stepping into our power or other people are stepping into power in relationships. They might be speaking their truth or bringing up conversations around what is painful or what is hard to deal with, but a great day for therapy. You might be feeling extra vulnerable. There might be triggering combos. So we just want to pay attention as these two things are very closely connected. Now we have a couple days off, luckily, and then Mercury moves into Taurus. Now, when we have transits of one planet moving into a new zodiac sign, I'm going to make it purple. This just highlights, hey, there's a planet moving into a new area of our chart. It's time for us to put our mind in the Taurus area of our life. Lots of conversations, lots of negotiating, lots of learning, lots of connection with the people in the Taurus area of our life. And if you don't know what people or relationships are connected to wherever Taurus is in your chart, whatever house it falls in, I do have that relationship guide that's posted in the resource section of the Astro Weather report. So go check that out. Now, this is all gearing us up for the first full moon of the month, the full moon in Scorpio. This is happening. We make it yellow. This is happening at 22 degrees of Scorpio. So again, the sun at 22 Taurus, the moon at 22 Scorpio. So another 2-2 alignment 1 week after the Mercury sextile Jupiter 2222 portal. And this is a full moon that is going to force us to change, activating all the fixed areas of our chart. It deals with Scorpio moon stuff is like intense emotions, betrayal, feelings of fear and vulnerability coming up. But we need to release the things that are heavy, that have been rooted in for a while. We need to dig them up and move forward in ways. So a little speed bump in the month, but that's okay. Now, while the full moon is happening, we are also going to have Mercury at the same time squaring Pluto. That is what I mentioned earlier when we had the graph up. Remember, I showed you how Pluto and Mars are still opposite each other, and Mercury at some point in the month is going to come in and square that energy, get in on that tension. And so this is happening at the same time as the full moon. And this is going to happen from 3 degrees of Taurus to 3 degrees of Aquarius. So just an energy that we need to kind of pay attention to. I don't find that this is really good or bad. It is going to definitely reveal some secrets, have deep, intense conversations. There's kind of like a mental tug of war going on here. I'm going to leave it blue. It's kind of neutral for me. It really could go in either direction. Then we move to the 15th. This is the day that the sun is going to sextile the north node. Love this energy. This is the sun highlighting and checking in on how well we're doing with that faith and that trust and that energy around Pisces of going with the flow and following our intuition. It's kind of the sun checking in. When the sun was conjunct the north node, that's when we had the eclipse. And so now the sun has moved on and it's like, hey, let's go back. Like, how are we doing? So just a little check-in moment there. A little bit of support, really good day for affirmations, meditation, going with the flow. This would definitely be a day on my calendar where I'm going to schedule a little bit more quiet and peace and just time to be and follow my heart for the day. Now, on the 16th, this is when we have Venus leaving her post shadow phase. So, just like we had Mars leave his post shadow here on the 3rd, now Venus is completely done with all of her retrograde energy. She's in clear, fresh territory in the Aries area of our chart. We'll talk so much more about what that means. But now it's an opportune time for those things to attract and become more beautiful in the Aries area of our life because we've done the hard work and we've reflected what matters and what's a priority. Now we get to the 17th. This is the weekend where there is some sticky, icky stuff going on. So we definitely want to be aware of this energy. This is the sun conjunct Uranus. Like I mentioned, Uranus is on that star Argyle, and now the sun comes in and heats up that energy. So this is a full force red energy, and no doubt about it. Day that we want to be aware of curveballs. There could be disruptions, kind of like an energy that breaks us out of our routine, that wakes us up. If you are not unstuck, if you are still holding on for dear life to your old life, Uranus can come in with a full on curveball. Don't be reckless on this day. And I definitely see some chaos probably with the financial markets kind of going on Friday before this energy. And then we really have on Sunday, in addition to this energy, where Mercury is going to square Mars. And we know that Mercury is our mind and what we're speaking, and Mercury's the mind. Mars is going to help us take action. He's like our internal warrior, and squares bring up tension points. So this is a very verbally combative day, saying what's on your mind, road rage, people being irritable, like, just be very cautious and careful in relationships and going out and about in public. I think what triggers here, maybe with the financial markets or things in the economy, maybe this left field energy with the sun and Argyle and Uranus, like it's people really upset and fired up. Definitely something to be aware of, because at the exact same time that is all going on, Jupiter is going to sextile Chiron. So again, Jupiter blows up anything he touches. And if he's touching Chiron, people's wounds are coming to the surface. People are getting triggered by things. So there's definitely this heightened sense of Aries warrior, want to fight for myself, demand for my needs to be met, people figuring out like their identity, and a lot of fire in the sky with this energy. And Jupiter is just like, let me blow it up, because on that exact same day as well, Jupiter is going to be squaring the north and the south node. So that is our destiny. That is like getting rid of the old and stepping into the new. Jupiter brings up this tension point while he's touching Chiron. So, I mean, this is like the lucky part about it all, is that even though things are coming up and like shifting our reality and things are coming out of left field, it's all leading us towards that Pisces, have trust, like whatever is falling apart, whatever chaos is happening, this is where we need to trust. This is where we need to be in Pisces, compassion and empathy. What is the best thinking thought that I can have? Why is this happening? There's a reason, there's a greater purpose. Like this is where the rubber meets the road, where really your lesson is coming in, where really that Pisces energy, it's easy to be Pisces and in flow until shit hits the fan. So this is really kind of what it's all for and what it's all about. So that check-in moment. Now on the 20th, the sun is going to sextile Saturn. Don't know how I feel about this yet. I'm going to leave it blue because the sun heats up things, and this is Saturn's final moment in Pisces. He's going to be literally at 29 degrees of Pisces, just a few days away from moving into Aries. This is that karmic reset point, right? 29 Pisces. It's done. Lord Karma. You're getting your reward. You're getting your punishment. The universe is back paying you. The lessons are either getting harder or they are alleviating. The sun is going to start heating that up. From Taurus, which is about building and the structure. So definitely a day that we're going to talk a lot more about as we get closer. And then we are going to have on that exact same day, the sun entering Gemini. And so Gemini sun season kicks off, and this is where things start to get juicy. This is where things get really good. We love the sun in Gemini season. It is now a time to connect and network and market and have lighthearted fun and banter. This is about learning, starting courses, getting out there with people, being very open-minded. So really for the rest of the month after this point, any kind of events or parties or networking groups, learning things, going to conferences, signing up for courses. This is going to be such a good energy. The Astrology for Parents course, the price is going to go up on the 30th at the end of the month. And I wanted to wait to raise the prices. I thought I would raise it when the first module starts on the 5th, because we start class on the 5th officially. But I was like, no, no, no. I want to wait till Gemini season so more people feel called to learn, to be curious, to sign up for courses. Like we're just usually more in our mind when we get to Gemini season. So I thought before I, raise the prices, let's get everyone a chance to feel the vibes of Gemini sun season. And so we'll raise the price for the Astrology for Parents course on the 31st. So it's self-paced. You'll have lifetime access. You can buy it before the price goes up and tap into it whenever you're ready, even if that's in 6 months. But these are ways I'm showing you examples of how I plan and strategize my business, my launches, offering new services, strategizing when I'm going to market, strategizing when I go on vacation, because I'm looking at the energies and where people are going to be at in their life and how they're energetically going to feel due to the astrological alignments. Now we get to May 22nd. Oh, love this energy. So sad I'm going to be out of the country because I would love to plan a date day. Venus trine Mars. Trines are harmonious. Venus, the feminine, Mars, the masculine. They have met up 2 times before already due to their retrogrades, but both times it was in water energies. So in our relationships and around the things in our life that matter to us, we've maybe been very emotional in our relationships, having tough conversations, trying to sift and sort through the problems in our partnerships. But now, if they have made it to this point, we are going to have literally Venus in Aries, fire, Mars and Leo, fire, Venus and Mars both in fire signs, a fire trine. This is a fun fire. This is firework fire. This is passionate and going on a date and romance and just, a lovely, lovely day for connections and partnerships. Be physically active with one another, go out and do things together. And while this is happening at the same time, the sun is going to sextile Neptune. Sun is going to be in Gemini, so it's going to be an air energy. And then we're going to have Neptune in Aries, which is going to be a fire energy. So fire, and some air from the sun just blowing on that fire, heating it up. The sun is just warming things of Neptune's rose-colored glasses, being more dreamy, being more optimistic, right? Being more delusional. You do want to be careful on this day, though, of not putting people on pedestals and like being too foggy or hazy. Don't be just like going on a date because you think it would be a good idea, but like go because like genuinely in your heart, this is like a heart stated energy, or intuitively you feel like it's aligned. But just be a little weary of the rose colored glasses or a little bit of delusion going on. But that's beautiful for long-term partnerships in any way. If it's business partners, this would be a great day to do brainstorming, to get together on your business, to work on projects for your business, friends to go out and have a great girls' night and just laugh and joke all night, romantic date night energy. Love it. And then on the 23rd, Mercury is going to sextile the North Node. So again, it's that check-in moment of like the North Node, mind, meditation, affirmations, that Pisces area connection to your intuition, intuitive downloads could be coming in on this day. Divine aligned conversations, a contract could come through, things that are just like really helping you move forward, specifically in the Pisces area of your life, but also from that Mercury in Taurus energy. And then the big kaboom of the month, Saturn moves into Aries after 30 years. So check that Aries area of your chart. We're going to have a full separate video on this energy. Very potent, very powerful, so much to talk about. We're not going to get into it here, but this is where things really start to shift for us. And on that same exact day, the sun is going to trine Pluto. So what does Pluto want? To be in our power, to connect with our purpose, to do things that really matter to us and face those fears and get going on new things and new momentum. So we're going to leave that blue again, because we can work with that energy if we so want, as it's a trine and it's harmonious and it's supportive. Now, one last thing on this day, This is the day that we have Mercury conjunct Uranus. It's going to be at 27 degrees of Taurus, and Argyle, that fixed star, is at 26 degrees. So close enough. This is definitely for me going to get a red energy. Doesn't mean it's bad. It's just an energy that I'm like, okay, I want to be mindful. If there is unexpected news, communication coming out of left field, this is the last one in our lifetime. As next year, when Mercury comes back to Taurus, Uranus will already be out of here and be in Gemini. This is a day where I totally see, especially with Saturn moving into Aries, he's crossing the karmic reset point. He's coming into zero Aries. It's a rebirthing about our commitments, our responsibilities, our discipline, growing up. It's like literally coming into a new body, a new life, a new form, right? Aries is that rebirth energy. And it's like, get to work. We got to do the shit we need to do. It's time to, anchor in our truth and own our path. And so Mercury conjunct Uranus can be disruptive. And I definitely see this being a day where we might have some disruption in technology, transportation, the internet, social media. If you rely on any of those things, be cautious and careful. Of course, it's Memorial Day weekend, so I can totally see things at the airports and traveling and just things getting really wonky. So if you have travel plans this weekend, don't say I didn't warn you. Don't say I didn't warn you. Be flexible. Let's just say that. Then on Sunday, Mercury gets into Gemini. Love this energy because it comes in with the sun. Remember how I mentioned when the sun enters into Gemini on the 20th, we start to feel more social. We feel more connected. We want to network. We want to be lighthearted. We want to joke. Now Mercury comes in, our mind gets on board. This is where we can be a little ADHD, a little bit more scattered, but this is where people are very open-minded. They want to talk on the phone more. They want to be more lighthearted, no more serious conversations. In business, this is a big shift for businesses on how you're going to market. It's going to be very different than how you may have wanted to market thus far in the year. Now, because Saturn entered into Aries on this day, he's going to get to 0 degrees. And when he gets to 0 degrees, he's going to meet up with Mercury, who entered into Gemini at 0 degrees, and he's going to have a sextile. So it's a Mercury-Saturn sextile. Harmonious energy. It just helps us anchor in our mind a little bit, think about what that new life that we're creating, and mentally be like, okay, I need to be curious. I need to be open. I want this new life. I want to move away. I want to start this new job. Mercury and Gemini is saying, I need to ask questions. I need to find a mentor. I need to start a course. I need to learn new things. If I really want to take action and move forward, there's some things I have to learn here. And that is right in alignment for our new moon of the month, the Gemini new moon. This is happening at 6 degrees. Love, love, love this new moon. I would make it pink, but it is a moon, so it gets a yellow because we have the sun, Mercury, the moon, and Jupiter, a total powerhouse of energy in the Gemini area of your chart, new beginnings, new fresh starts, great for information, great day to network. Love that it falls on Memorial Day. You might meet someone that really helps alter your life, takes you to the next level. And also at that exact same time, Mercury is going to sextile Neptune. So it just makes things easy. It makes things in flow. You could get inspiration and downloads around this energy, spiritual insights, epiphanies, just lovely, lovely energy. The 27th is going to be our electional day of the year. We'll talk more about that in the Astro Weather Report. So this is going to be kind of like the best day to start new things. So let's just put best day for birth chart. Again, I'll dive more into that in the Astro Weather Report. I'll tell you exactly what time and what you want to look for in the chart and what you want to be launching around that energy. And then we're also going to have on this day, Mercury trine Pluto. So we're earlier in the month. Remember earlier in the month, Mercury squared Pluto. What day was that? Let's see here. Let's go back where Mercury squared Pluto on the 12th. This day, he's going to trine Pluto. So it's kind of a check-in from here, right? What mental conversation, where do we mentally stand in our power? Where do we sign a contract or negotiate something or face a fear in a conversation or in a negotiation? Now it's a check-in of like, okay, look, it was not so bad. Great day for, also signing deals or revisiting these deals. So something is connected from the 12th to the 27th. And then on the 30th, we get to the final powerful energy of the month. Love this energy. This is a Sun Mercury Kazimi. This is these two planets hugging in the sky, 9 degrees of Gemini. Love it. It gets such a lucky energy for me. Great day for, again, intellectual projects, exams, presentations, speeches. Have a notebook by your side. You might have a lot of ideas. Brain on fire, mentally stimulated in Gemini, multi-passionate, multitasking. Great day to get a lot of mental things done, checking off your to-do list for the end of the month. Great, great energy. So we're going to leave it at that. June brings in more fresh energy. The first part of June is great. June is one of the best months of the year. But as you can see, a lot less chaos going on. Look at last month, so much going on here. And then even in the month of March, like almost every single day, we had something going on. Look at all these reds and oranges. In April, we had all this full day of reds and oranges. But look at May. It's not so bad. A couple hotspot days, lots of days off for us to integrate, to have a lot more free will, to kind of work with the cycles and implement things. And then all these beautiful alignments, lucky, beautiful energies, new and full moons. Oh, I love it. So it's a great month. Gonna leave it at that. I'll be posting in the Astro Weather Report. You guys love it when I post more of a list so you can see exactly in list format. You can screenshot this, you can read it completely. Every day, we're going to be breaking down exactly how to utilize this energy, what you should and shouldn't be doing. I can't wait to talk to you so much more about some of these aspects specifically. We're going to have a lot more room for education days this month, which I'm excited about. I will be on vacation in Europe from the 13th to the 29th. So it'll be interesting to see how I navigate some of these pretty wild red energies while I'm out of the country. So I'll keep you updated on all of that. I'll see you over in the group chat. And like I said, I got some exciting things going on that are going to help you with your astrology practice that I've aligned up with this astro weather. So it is in alignment with what you're supposed to be doing, what we're all supposed to be doing under this season. So sending you guys so much love and light. I'll see you in the Astro Weather Report for more details. Have a wonderful May. Go do your abundance ritual to welcome in this month of prosperity and abundance as the flowers start blooming, all of that May juicy goodness as we go through day by day. So I'll catch you over there. Bye, everyone.